Hello, I'm Steph from IDRIVEACLASSIC and this is
Kevin Hurst.
Also featuring on IDRIVEACLASSIC, but not as regularly as he has been, and that's been for a reason. And I know plenty of you are interested in this because I've seen no end of comments saying, where's Kev, what's happening with the MGC? And the biggest thing that's held us up essentially, and we touched upon it last time, we kind of alluded to it, is that we've both had an awful lot going on. So for me, I've been working 5 days a week. I've been trying to catch up with everything. I've been trying to renovate my own house. And if I'm honest, and I don't like to dwell on it too much, but I told you all that my cat Lily had died, and my God, did my mood slip afterwards, and I have been feeling so rubbish. And a couple of people picked up on it in videos and they were like, oh, you're not smiling as much as you usually do. I've been able to switch it on mostly for videos, but everything else outside of that sphere of videos has just gone to pot. So like, I haven't been eating as well as I have been. I haven't been working on my own cars. I'm so behind with my own house and everything's gone to pot. And Kev kept saying to me, you've got to come back, you've got to come back. And I said, yeah, I know, but I just don't even want to get dressed at the moment. Like I feel absolutely rubbish. But it's given me a bit of time to reevaluate where we are with this, but also what I do with my own life as well. And I am going to move on to part-time work so that we can dedicate more time to the channel to bring you really good quality stuff, because I've got some really good ideas of things that I want to do and share with you, but I've just not had time to do it, and I've not really had the good mood there to do it, because there's only so far that you can push yourself when you feel really, really low. But as well as that, I think if it had only been me feeling rubbish, I probably could have dragged myself out. But you've had a lot going on as well, haven't you?
Well, yes, I suppose so. I'm not just on the dole all the time.
No.
So I'm looking after elderly parents at the moment. My dad's not well at the moment, but he's getting there. He's diabetic, had an infection, so I'm taking him backwards and forwards to hospital twice a week. My mother's got a dodgy hip, which operation's gone wrong, so that's another story. And our son Thomas, we've been to both him and my wife have been supporting him through his degree and his dissertation, sending that in 30,000 words, whatever, I had no idea what it was. But anyway, fortunately, that's done now. And
are you going to say what grade he got? He did so well.
He got a distinction. And he got a first,
yes.
Apparently.
And that is such a big deal. So for anybody watching outside of the UK, I don't know how your degrees work, but that is like top tier, best you can get. Tom is really clever anyway.
He's certainly got his mother's brains, that is for sure. But he also was a degree apprenticeship, so he's been working full time as well. So that's been extra hard for him. But anyway, he's done that now, so he's concentrating on fishing.
Yeah, and I'm trying to get some help for the low mood and stuff, and there's a lot going on. But plenty of you actually have been very frank in comments before and said that you understand how that feels. So I hope that there can be some empathy for just how weird it's been, because it's like you think to yourself, you think, God, I've got everything I wanted. You know, I've lost the weight that I wanted to lose. Not that that should matter, but you know, I've got a lovely boyfriend. I've got my car back and it's done, but it's just been, losing Lily has just hit me so hard. But I'm trying to work through it. Back on this, I do think the good weather has helped. But Kev, despite looking after his dad, looking after his mum, being there for Tom, being a brilliant husband to Janet as well, and being a really good friend to me, has also done a bit on the car. And so in this workshop catch-up video, what I wanted to do was to get Kev to methodically walk us around the car and tell us what he's been doing. And he's got some questions for everybody as well. So buckle up, because the questions might be relevant to you. And if not, you might know somebody that can maybe help. So anyway, I'm going to flip the camera around now and it's going to be all on Kev and we'll get him to talk through.
Right, well, the first thing I want to show you, because I have been doing stuff on that, is, as you remember earlier, we had the nightmare situation where the door gaps was too tight. So what I've had to do since the last time that I've done the other side, and what I did is I cut this wing all the way down here, and I dressed it back. Now, the one question that I was going to ask people is what is the general opinion of TIG welding? I mean, I've never done TIG welding at all. I've always used MIG, but what I was doing when I was doing the other side, when I was welding it, I was having a very, very strong joint, but the metal was cracking all the way with the joint when I was overlapping something. Now on this particular job, this worked out a lot better for me because I dressed the edge back, and I sort of fitted it under there like that. And so I managed to weld, pardon my basic thing, but I managed to get a correct weld, and it was like a sort of an overlap weld, and I managed to seam weld it all the way down and grind it down, and it's a really good. It's better than the other side, and it worked out a lot better. But the TIG welder, a friend of mine's used one, and I was going to borrow it, but anyway, I managed to do this job without it. So I'm just interested what people's opinion are of TIG welders, because they're quite cheap, and I was thinking maybe I might get one for future. But at the moment, this has worked out all right. So we've done this. Now next time, hopefully this week, I'm going to get all this gap absolutely in perfect positioning, you know, a nice even gap all the way around there. Get all this dressed off, and I may paint the doors. I'm going to paint the doors off the car and the bonnet, and then they're finished and out of the way, so then I can concentrate on the body. As you can see from this side, I've actually masked up all under the engine bay with a dust sheet, and I've done it underneath, and this is to prevent dust going into the engine from when I start rubbing the filler down, and just to stop it messing up all the under the engine bay, because all under the engine bay is good. The car's going to be in Grampian grey, I've decided, which was not the original colour. This was the original colour according to the heritage certificate. So that's what I intend to do there. Now, what I have done, a little tip that I think is quite a useful thing to do. You notice the bumper is down here at the moment. Now, what I have done is, because this has had lower half rear wing on both sides of the car, I've got the bumper brackets on, and what I have done is I've trial fitted the rear bumper to make sure there isn't an overhang here. You know, check that this lower half ring is in the right place on that side and this side, and it looks quite good. You know, the positioning's quite good. As I said before, the car has had a bump at this back corner, so I've put the tailgate on, and as you can see there, it's quite good this side, but this side here, I'm going to have to somehow knock this out, or dress this tailgate in to make this gap look quite good. I mean, when you close it down, it's not so bad, but it's not right brilliant, to be honest, because this back, as I said, has had an accident. The rear valance is okay. Structurally, it's okay. I've carried out repairs to the rear chassis leg here, where it wasn't welded, which you can't actually see, but all under there, I've made sure that was all seam welded onto here correctly. I've put the exhaust, trial fitted the exhaust at the back, just to check that that's okay. And so what I'm trying to do is do as much trial fitting as possible, so there's less chance of damaging the paintwork when I come to reassemble the car. I've also, on this side, I've also got all the holes here for the clips. There's one under there somewhere. And what I intend to do is put the clips in, and I will paint the panel, or certainly the door, over the top of the clips, and that means the clips will not rust. I've also, inside here, I've done it on the other side actually, but I've put the quarter light on and the chrome finisher strip on here, and I've drilled the holes there now rather than when it's all painted, which although I haven't done this side yet, I will do I will do it. But that means, because I remember as an 18-year-old apprentice doing an MGB Roadster, one of the first heritage shells in Huddersfield I did, there's a rubber strip that goes on there, and you hold a piece of steel up there and drill, and like an idiot I drilled straight through the brand new panel. Boss was not happy with that at all, because we had to re-weld the hole up and paint it. So in a nutshell, I'm trying to make the job as easy as possible when it comes to assembly. We've still got more work on that back end before I can even start preparing the body, and that's about all I can tell you at the moment. So we have done stuff, but obviously running parents around and doing the other thing, I don't think I've got near the car in 3 weeks. I've spent 1 day on it in 3 weeks. So unfortunately, time gets in the way of these here projects. But it'll be done when it's done, and as long as it's right, I'm not bothered. I'll wait for, if it's another year, it's another year, but I hope not, because obviously time's moving on. But there we are. So any questions or any suggestions regarding what people think of a TIG welder, please let me know.
Well, that's the end of the workshop update. So I thought I'd give you a quick fleet update just to round off the chaos that's been going on. So Morris Minor, completely fine, nothing wrong, touch wood. God, what else have I got? I've got the Proton. That has got a really weird problem at the moment, which I'm hoping, so a lot of you will know John Coupland and his mountain of Protons. I've managed to source a couple of bits that I think will help sort the problem. Essentially, it looks like it's linked to the idle control valve, but it's really modern for me, so I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's been a lot of Fred's suggestions that have been driving us forward and trying to diagnose what's going on. So I'm kind of floundering with that one really, but things are moving forward at a glacial pace. The Triumph I'm hoping to have at the IDRIVEACLASSIC Meet, which is Saturday the 5th of July at the Great British Car Journey in Derbyshire. Hope to see some of you there. And I'm going to have to twist Kev's arm for a bit of help with that next week, because first of all, it looks rough at the moment, and I didn't realise quite how rough it looked until I started digging around with it the other day, and I thought, oh no, there's a lot to be done. But anyway, it wasn't running, couldn't work out what it was. Kev said, have you tried sucking through the fuel? Never had to really do that before. Worst thing I've ever done in my life. Had a mouthful of petrol, never want to taste that again. Ended up being the fuel pump. So I've ordered another one of those. It's currently sitting on the stairs at home, so that's going to be chucked on in the next week. So we'll get her down for the meet. Even if she looks terrible, I'm still going to bring her and show you all, because a lot of you have been asking about her. And then we've got the Marina, which has knackered another clutch. And so she's sitting there as well, just waiting. And I think everything this year has just snowballed. And so people say, oh, you're going to get something else? Am I heck going to get something else? Absolutely not. Let's get on top of everything else before we think about bringing anything else in. Now, the next time you join us in here, we'll be building up the dashboard. We've got all the parts from MG Owners Club, as per usual, because as I have discovered recently with Fred's motorbike, actually, if you buy cheap, you buy twice. So you're better off just going for the best bits. Sorry about that, Fred. I hope you don't mind me mentioning. Essentially, had a little light on the back and it just died straight off the bat. And there's been a couple of other things recently that I've bought and I've thought, why do I buy cheap occasionally? It's a false economy. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed a bit of a workshop update today. It's been a little bit more personal than I thought it might be, but I do like to lead with honesty first, and I like to be accountable for everything that's going on. And clearly I've got an awful lot going on and a lot to sort. However, going on to 3 days, it's going to be a godsend, but I'll tell you more about that job soon. Anyway, I hope to see some of you next weekend at the iDriveACLASSIC Meet. All the details are in the description box below, but until next time, take care and drive safely.